Hello, loves, it's Shanda. How are you? And welcome to Shanda Says. It is Thursday evening, and tonight's vlog is going to be a bit controversial. And I say that because a lot of you women, once I'm done, you will more than likely think that I'm judging you. And I want to go on and say, I'm going to preface this vlog that I'm not judging you. So I'm just going to state what my research was and what my opinion is. And as I always say, I love for you to leave your comments, because even if you don't agree with me, I want you to say, Shanda, no, I don't believe that. So anyway, let's get into the subject. I had a very interesting conversation with a very good friend of mine, and he knows who he is. Anyway, we were talking about women and tattoos. And he asked me, he said, "Do you have tattoo?" And I said, "No. I just never wanted to have a tattoo." And I'm going to go into the reason why I didn't want tattoos. But I just want to give a little backstory on my view of tattoos, okay? Now, remind you, as you guys know, I'm older, and I always talk about me being a 70s baby. So, I grew up in an age and time that, as far as women went, tattoos were meant for basically bikers and sailors, like Marines got tattoos and things. So women and tattoos, it wasn't the thing growing up, and it wasn't something that my mother would have wanted for her girls, let's say. So fast forward, and I'm basing everything on me, okay, before you guys go in on me. Fast forward, back in the late 90s, excuse me, a lot of my girlfriends were getting tattoos, and it was like the thing to do. And actually, my sister has about 6 of them. And a lot of them were like, "Are you going to get a tattoo? Are you going to get this? Are you going to get your daughter's name? Are you going to do this? Are you going to..." And I was just like, "No, I don't want to." And I'm going to tell you why I didn't want to get a tattoo. Couple of reasons. Number one was I didn't want to do what everyone was doing. I know that may sound weird to you, but I grew up very different-minded and like-minded. I didn't want to do what everyone was doing. So just on that note, because everyone was doing it, I was like, no, I don't want to do it because everybody's doing it. Number two was, in my opinion, okay, I'm not going in on you guys, but in my opinion, I didn't necessarily feel that it was that feminine. At least the ones that I saw. A lot of women were getting them on their breast. They were getting them on their arms. They were doing it. They were really big. And to me, for Shonda, it just wasn't me, and it wasn't for me. Now, again, like I said, a lot of my friends had it. But here's the thing. Me and my friend were having this conversation. And I said to him, and this was always my thought, though I never voiced it, especially on my vlogs, because I know many of my women viewers have tattoos. So I never wanted to, talk about this subject too much, because I didn't want anyone thinking I'm talking about them or that I'm judging you, okay? But my feeling was, I always thought that men judge women a certain way when it comes to tattoos. And I really base that on too with my husband is in the clubs all the time. And he always says if a woman has a tattoo on her lower back that's visible, men are going to view her as that. You could look at her and you could get it popping easy. Where you have your tattoo, what your tattoo is, pretty much a man, before you even open your mouth, is going to judge you on it. So even with that in mind, in my mind, I knew that I didn't want to get anything on my arm, because for me, when you wear dresses, just certain things, I just felt like I didn't want to do that. Now, of course, people get tattoos for all types of reasons. It could be a memory of a loved one. It could be just a really impulsive thing. You're young and you're thinking, oh, I think it's cute, and you want to do it. But the reality is that men do judge women by their tattoos. No doubt about it. They're going to judge you on it. And you may say, "Shauna, that's not cool, that's not right." And a lot of things that are not cool, and that's not right. But it is what it is. They're going to do it. So anyway, we were talking, and he was saying that he liked this young woman. He was really into her. And he noticed that she had these 2 tattoos. And it instantly turned him off. So I was like, again, Shauna trying to figure out the male psyche. I was like, okay, why did it turn you off? I mean, if you like her, you should just like her. What is it about the tattoo that turned you off? Number one, it was where it was placed. Okay. And number 2 was he felt like it was poor decision making on her part. And as a woman and as a man, he's thinking, okay, am I going to separate her into this is someone I'll sleep with, but this is not somebody I'm going to wife, meaning I'm not going to, you know, I'm just not, she's not going to be my woman. And that's a whole other vlog I want to do too for you guys. If you want to be a wife, you have to act like a wife and you have to be wife material. There is a difference. So, you know, I want to do a vlog on that and we'll talk about that later. But anyway, excuse me. Anyway, we were talking and I was like, you know, should we be judged by their tattoos? Should women be judged on it? Should we not get tattoos? Here's my thinking. It's an individual thing. But for every young girl that comes onto my vlogs, I will say that if you're really young, you should not get a tattoo. Because when you're at a certain age, this seems like a fun thing to do. But as you mature, you may regret that decision, especially if it's a guy's name or someone that you're feeling really crazy about right now. That may not be the case in another 5 to 10 years. So you have to realize that these tattoos are permanent and they're going to stick with you. But from what I understand now, there are tattoos that eventually fade out. They're non-permanent tattoos. So even if you're getting the feeling, eventually it will fade out. But here's the thing. If you get a tattoo that you don't like, you have to get that. If you want to get it removed, it's a very painful process. It's a painful process. Another thing too is in corporate America and getting work, if your tattoos are displayed in a place that is highly visible, as a woman, it's going to be harder for you and people will judge you. It's a fact. So, you know, it's a touchy subject for me because I have to go on record and say the tattoos are not for me. And when I met my husband, that was one of the first things he asked me. He said, "Do you have tattoos?" And I said, "No, I'm not really into that. I don't see myself at 60 having a tattoo on my tit." You know, and we laughed about it. He was like, "Oh, okay, because I don't like tattoos all over women." But see, that's his preference because there are men that love that. There are men that find tattoos to be very sexy. But if you're a guy and you're watching tonight's video about tattoos and women, what is your view on women and tattoos? I think it would be very interesting for the female readers, viewers, excuse me, to read the comments and see the guy's opinion about tattoos, like where it's placed. And if you're a woman watching this video and you have a tattoo, how do you feel about your tattoo? Was it an impulsive thing? Is it something that means something to you? Did you put it in a place that you regret? You know, tattoos are a very touchy subject because, you know, if you have them, you don't want anyone judging you on them because it's not a window really to who the person is. But then again, it can be a window to who the person is. So what does your tattoo say about you? Something to think about. I love you guys. Leave your comments. Again, real quickly, thank you for all the comments that you left on the last video. We got over 200 comments on that video, and I appreciate your love and support and your input because it means so much to me. So I'll be back here soon, and we'll talk. Bye-bye.